there was this movie that released tonight by the name of Run, Hide, Fight. And this movie, just to give a brief synopsis, tells the story of a girl named Zoe. Just starts off with an average day of high school, and eventually things go really dark. And as the trailer shows, it's the story of a girl persevering through the events of a school shooting incident. And that is not a easy topic to handle with films. It's a topic that's mostly been taboo in the entertainment industry. For good reason. It's something that when handled poorly, it's just not a good thing to do. And it's a subject matter that needs to be handled well and treated properly. And one thing that I will give this film credit where credit is due, this film handles that subject matter really well. And I think that comes down to one key issue. Whenever an incident like this happens, any mass shooting, any mass killing, whenever that happens, the media doesn't hesitate to post the monster's name. They just post the name of the person who killed people, and all that does is it brings more attention to them. It brings more attention to them, their ideas why they did it, and might stir to cause even more violence in the future, when that's probably what they wanted in the first place. Like, they want attention, they want people to know that they were the ones who did it. There might be more motivation behind that, of course, but it seems to me that most of them want attention. And this movie shows that very blatantly. As shown in the trailers, the character of Tristan, who is the antagonist of the film, he wants to be famous, he wants to be trending, he rejoices in it, he rejoices in the fact that one of the students who's live streaming the whole thing at his demand has over 1,000 viewers. And it shows that, like, attention is what they want, and attention is not what they deserve. Which there's this excellent line in the trailers, and it's even better in the actual film, given the context of it. But where Zoe says the line, I'm just quoting, like, off the tongue, I don't remember the line exactly, where she says, "It's not you they're going to remember me." And I think that's a very powerful line, in my opinion. It really underlines one of the messages of the film, that history remembers the brave, history remembers the selfless, people who stand up for what's right. And on the topic of the character of Zoe, I think that that lead actress, I believe her name is Isabel May, I could be wrong, but I hope not. She gives an excellent performance. Like, the camera just loves her. She does a really great job of portraying this character who's going through these traumatic events and has gone through traumatic events in the past really well. The actor who plays Tristan just, like, exudes this aura of overconfidence and what's the word? Like, overconfidence and terror. Everyone is just absolutely terrified whenever they're in his presence. It's absolutely great to see these young actors give such a great performance, and on top of that, the actor who plays her friend, the guy who's recording, I'm completely blanking on this name, I just watched this an hour ago. He does a really great job. I believe he said in an interview that he didn't have to act in certain scenes, like he was actually terrified of running away, hearing actual guns go off. Which, on the topic of that, I admire that this film was, I think, 100% practical. And it shows that practical filmmaking is the true way to do it. If everything's behind a green screen, it's not real. There's something real about this movie. And it shows that in the characters, in the, like, everything's on a set. It feels like you can just walk in there and experience it as though you may not really want to. And there's this great dynamic between Zoe and her father, like how, like a really unique fatherly dynamic. I'm a big sucker for father figures in media, especially when done well. And this really portrayed that of a man who's willing to do anything for his daughter, to the logical extreme. And yeah, I think that's all I could really say without spoiling the movie. So I might as well just move on into spoilers. Before I do that, I just want to say that I might do more of these types of videos. So if you like what you see, please consider subscribing, liking, commenting. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts if you guys have seen the film. And yeah, but given the whole current way the world has been going, with theaters closed, it's really hard to talk about new movies. So I'm glad that this one just came straight to online. Okay, so spoilers from here on out. If you have not seen Run, Hide, Fight, I would highly recommend you do so. It is a great movie that I really enjoyed. Before going spoilers, like arbitrary out of 10 rating, I don't know, like 8 or a 9, probably a 9. I really enjoyed it, really well done. Really tight-knit script that really worked. You can like tell that they thought it through, the script through. Everything makes sense, everything follows. All right, now into spoilers, and I just want to walk through the plot, I guess. Zoe's character, as I said, goes through like traumatic experience for the film. She's dealing with the loss of her mother, who she lost to, I believe, just a form of cancer, as shown as the wrap around her head. I really liked the scenes between Zoe and her mother. It, like, I noticed that, like, to show that her mother's in her head, they have it so that whenever the mother is in frame, so is Zoe. The two, the mother cannot be in the shot without Zoe being in the shot. And whenever the camera pans away from Zoe, the mother is also panned away from. Like that one scene with whenever they're in the auditorium and one of the shooters is handcuffs to one of the seat, and he regains consciousness. And just that was a really good scene. I thought that Zoe, well, like, credit to Isabel May's acting. That like exchange between Zoe and the shooter, I can't blank on his name. I think it was like Kip or something. There was a really great exchange there, talking about his motives and how petty they are, and just how like he was bullied when he was in the 6th grade, and now he's killing his former students, and like the way she delivers that line of how Anna Kim died in her arms on the bathroom floor. Like, she did amazing in this role, and I really look forward to see where her career goes, because given this film, it seems to be going great places. And then with Tristan, like, you really see a sense of overconfidence, but then underneath that layer of insecurity. Like how he thinks things through. He's doing this for attention, and I think that the actor did an excellent job of portraying that. And a sense of like there's no better way to describe it than he's acting as if someone who's been powerless now is the one with power. How cocky they're gonna be, how overconfident they're gonna be. Like that scene where he goes to the Spanish classroom, and now he's the one in control, and he could exude his wrath on people. And he does that by forcing the Spanish teacher to strip down. It's really just like I like this movie kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I couldn't blink. It was that captivating. And like, as they're going through this, as Zoe's going through this, there's a lot of exchanges where she's just like getting beaten down. And I really liked this scene in which they're in the chemistry lab, and it's showing that something that I don't like in films is whenever someone who's very much the underdog beats someone who's 3 times their size. And they very much stayed away from that, and I'm very glad of that. Like, Zoe is fighting someone who's fighting a man who is 3 times her size. There is no way she's gonna win that fight just with brute force. Not. She has to think her way through, and she does, using the gas and the chemistry equipment. And then, just when you think she's about to like go into female action hero mode and pummel the guy to death, she doesn't. She is beaten down, and her father save her. And that's like bringing in that fatherly dynamic, and that was just a very gripping scene. And you can tell that Tristan's character just slowly begins to break down. The sense of overconfidence shatters more and more throughout the film whenever the girl shooter dies, his girlfriend dies. Whenever he has to kill one of his own, whenever Zoe's dad kills the third, and then he realizes he's on his own, and he just panics. Like, he really does this. The actor does a great job portraying the panic of it. Like, even like he's messing with his hair even more. His hair is much more messed up than it was before. Like, I think I noticed like his eyes were just darting all around, like it was someone who's panicking would. And then like bringing the guy in the barrel out. Like, I knew at that point, like, he was gonna fake his death, and it's gonna be the haha you thought endings, like he gets away. But as soon as Zoe saw him, I knew she was going to be the one to kill him. And I thought it was really, really well done how they timed the whole thing with a bow. How you begin with her learning the lesson that sometimes you need to do the humane thing and put the monster out of its misery. You need to put the animal out of its misery. Because Tristan is an animal. He's a monster in this film. He kills his own students. He forces people to go through some of the most traumatic events. He forces them to call their own parents and say that they might die. Like, he does some horrible things, and this film is not trying to humanize him, because he doesn't deserve to be. He's a monster. He doesn't deserve that. None of the shooters do. And like, even Zoe doesn't humanize him at the end. Zoe puts a bullet through his chest, and as he's bleeding out in the river, she repeats what her father told to him that morning about how you need to put the monster out of it. You need to put the animal out of its misery, because that's the humane thing to do. If you don't, the death will be painful, long, and intense. She just lets him die in the river. I assume he dies, because the movie ends as she's walking away and the authorities are rushing to where Tristan is. And then the credits rolled. And on the whole, I thought this was a really good movie. It was really captivating, as I said. I really hope that if you've either seen it or you just don't care about spoilers, that, well, mostly if you don't care about spoilers and you stuck to the end, go and watch it. It's a fantastic film, and I love that. See, I listened to the producer and the writer and director talk to some of the people at the Daily Wire who, what's the term? Who were the outlets for it, who bought the rights and published it. I don't know if that's the word. And they were asked if the values of the film were there from the beginning, or if they just came naturally throughout this writing process. And that question is something that very much bugs me with films and TV and novels, with storytelling in general. I might make a whole video about this explaining my take on it, but I find there's a very fine line between what I call art and what I call propaganda. With art, there's a story being told, and throughout the course of the story being told, a message or a theme develops naturally within it. Something like Pinocchio is a favorite of mine, the Disney film. Pinocchio has this theme of listen to your conscience. Do what's right in the long run, even though it may not be the best for you now. And that just comes naturally without the film. With propaganda, on the other hand, it's when the message was there from the beginning. It's when, before the pen hits the paper, there was a message that the storyteller was wanting to get through to the audience. And I have a great issue with that. That is not art, that is propaganda. A movie like Frozen very much comes to mind when talking about this, because it's very clear that the storytellers had something in mind from the get-go when they were writing the story. They had something that they wanted to tell, and they used the story as a vassal for it, which I don't really like. Run, Hide, Fight is very much in the art category, which I love. It tells the story of bravery, of selflessness, and of perseverance that I think really encapsulates what filmmaking should be. It's very practical. You can tell it's on a low budget, but you have to look for it. Really made. The script was really good. I would assume the script was really good because the movie was good. But it was just on the whole just very well made. I really enjoyed it, and if I were to give it a grade, I'd give it an A-. It was a good movie. So, you stuck around to the end. Thanks for sticking through, and consider subscribing. If you enjoy this type of content, let me know if I should do more of these, just like off the cuff talking about movies in front of a microphone. Thank you for watching.